if it is possible. Like, hello, hello.
Yeah, I would. One second.
Yeah, can you just share the link? Just link of this meeting, not that the registration form, because there are student from my college. They are also interested to join on the meeting. UI UX session, how to get started in UI UX. So I'll be making this session quite I guess really short, because there are a few more things that I have to cover right now with you guys, because I have already covered the major part that is being like which I have planned, and I have already like covered those with you guys. So I'll be covering out few more details, and the points which I have already discussed in your previous workshop. I'll be covering those points in very detailed manner. So let us just form a architecture kind of thing, or a hierarchy that we will follow in this workshop. So first of all, I'll be talking about case studies, and then we'll be talking about the pattern of the case studies that that we should follow. And the third most thing, the references or the things that you shouldn't put on the case studies. So let me just give you I'll just show you my I'll just give you a brief of my case study. Just a second. I'll just share my screen. Can you just give me access to just share my screen? Hello. Okay. Just a second. Hi guys, sorry for the just a second. So is my screen visible? Can you just open the chat, say yes or no if you can? Okay, sure. So let me just show you my portfolio first of all. Okay, so this is my portfolio, and I have already like given you a small kind of introduction with my portfolio, how I have designed my portfolio and all. So I'll be just talking about the case studies that I have made. And first of all, before making out the case studies, you should be like quite what I can say, quite strict, or you should be like a domain based, because while you are applying for a company or any company who is specifically a product based, not talking about the service based. First of all, what is the difference between a product based company and a service based company? So product based companies are those companies those have a single product, and they gradually by the time of what I can say, by the time of as the technology improves, or their team increases, they gradually change they gradually change out their things that is being already made in the past times or a past tense. So those companies recently, like what they do is that they have a particular set of domain. Like if you talk about for the examples, just you can take out the example of the Unacademy, or I'll say Make My Trip also, because they both companies are domain specific. Because if you see the work of the Unacademy or the products of the Unacademy, they are only they have their own app, they have their own website, and they have like they are totally into the ed tech part. And coming on to the Make My Trip or Go IBBO or Redbus, they are the they are the three companies collaborated, and they have a parent company called as Go MMT. So right now I'm at Go MMT. That's just a second. Yeah, so that basically these companies focuses on the single domain or the single part that you should have to follow, or you should have to go with. So they come Make My Trip or Go Abibo or Redbus comes under the travel and leisure. And the next thing is service based companies. Those service based companies are those companies, those actually have a big clients. If I'm having a good great company and big company, I don't have a design team and all, so I'll be hiring a design studio or a basic or the company who would design for me plus who would develop for me. So those are service based companies. So the major difference between a service based and a product based company is that they are totally different, because service based companies has multiple domains and multiple sets of what I can say domains to work on. Like they can work on edtech also, they can work on what I can say finance also, they can work on the what I can say security management. Many more domains are there. Means they have a variety of domains. So you should be clear before joining out any org. You should be clear that whether you should join a service based company or a product based company. So let's talk about the advantages of being in a service based company. So what advantage I personally feel as a being in a service based company is that you'll be having experience of multiple domain set. Like you'll be working with multiple projects at a single time or a single month or a single year. So you'll be having a good number of case studies and portfolios and all. So you will be diverse in the domain set. But coming on to the product based companies has a single product. So you will be having a single set of a domain you have to work on. If I say an academy has a grab on a edtech platform, so they'll be working on a edtech side. So they won't go through the on the social side or on the finance side or on the what I can say payment side. Many more things are there. So this is a basic difference between a service based and a product based company. So let us see. I'll be just giving you a few cons and advantage of being in a product based company. Is that the first of all, the payment, they have a really good pay scale because they will be highly funded. And second of all, most thing, you'll be working with the best in class designers out there, because most of the designers and the best in class designers are switching out from a service to product based company, as because they have like a kind of a simple design system or design scenario they just generally follow while making out the product. So uh, everything has its pros and cons. So choose wisely what kind of company you'll be going with on. So let me just give you a walkthrough with my case study. So these are my two case studies. While making portfolio, you should be sure that you should showcase your best of means best work out there, because HR or any what I can say HR or anyone who will be hiring you or who will be filtering out your case studies and all, he won't or she won't be scrolling through your case studies and all. So you should keep in mind that you should be sharing out the best work that you have done. So this are my two case studies, and fortunately my two case studies are totally based on travel and leisure part. So when I have applied for make my trip, so it was like a big advantage for me, because my domain set was clear to them, because I just wanted to be in a company that is totally dedicated, and my interest is totally inclined to travel and leisure part. So if you see my case study, I have already built a context to them. Yeah, I'm a designer who is working who is quite interested on designing out products for the products or designs for the company who is totally on the travel and leisure part. So if I'll just give you a what I can say pattern that you should follow while making out your case studies. So this is like a scenario. First of all, give out a good heading for your case studies. Like if someone comes and points sees out the heading, so he should be be sure about if the name of my product is radio and I have written case study, so what actually radio is? It is a matchup tool design carpool app designed for students. So I have already made out a context that it is a design matchup design carpool app that is being basically defined for the students only. So yeah, I have given a big kind of thumbnail, or I would say a big background image for that, to mention out what was my project type and what was my role on that, and which platform I have designed for, and what is the timeline for that. And if in case you have something on your mind, or you have been working on something, so try to make those case studies or projects on inclined in such a way that it should be suitable for the web also, and it should be suitable for the iOS. Because while hiring, while the HR or designer who is hiring for you, he would be seeing out your design skill at the end. Because if you will be making out, like I was giving out an interview for a, like there's a platform called as I'm just forgetting the name, just a second. Something, I don't know, something like that. But the designer who has taken my interview, he was like having experience of 20 plus, I guess 20 plus years of experience, and he was like a designer turned into a recruiter. So he was actually recruiting designers for various good companies like Upglance, Cred, Paytm, and all. So he had like given me a micro tip, like while hiring. I was just asking ki what was my lag points are, where I am lacking. So he just told me like that ki try to like don't go on the behind side, just try to make your visuals so appealing that once someone comes, or once someone like sees your case study, because no one has like time to like see out your research or your competitor analysis, card sorting, many more things that is being included on the UX part. So no one has time, because at the end you will be having like around four, if you're applying for a good company, you'll be having like 400 to 500 application minimum. I'm saying at the minimum, because generally the product based companies don't hire freshers at all. First of all, they hire for the senior position, and if they hire, so they'll be hiring you as an intern. That's why after that you'll be getting converted into the full time role after your performance and all, because they don't hire on the like freshers and all. Because actually like when I am also in the same field, so I'll say that, because many more positions when they leave out the company, so maximum positions are from the senior side. If you check out the design side or technology side or any domain side of the company. So I'll be suggesting you that like look out for the companies those who are like actually just check out for the companies those who are like quite hiring on the interns and all, and be specific with your domains. So now coming back to a context, like look, I have just given a give good thumbnail about it, and just mentioned out the personal project, what I am actually, and what platform I've been working in, and what was the timeline of a project, like how much time it took me to like frame out the project. And this is the overview that I have given about the app. Like this is a kind of a small summary and all, small summary and all. This is my problem statement. Like first of all, you can take the reference of my case study to just make out your case studies to give a context. Like this is a, basic structure or hierarchy that you should be following while making out the case studies. So these are such points that you should mention out while making your case studies. First of all, second, the third, these are the key points. Like these are actually a key point that you should be like mentioning while making out your case study. So this is a key point. I won't describe these key points and all, but these are my initial findings and all. And you can just see out my following list. These are the, like I personally feel like these are my mentors and all, because these are the one of the best designers. And if you will check out Ansh Mehra's YouTube channel, you will be finding gem in the YouTube section, because he has like a kind of a best work showcased on their YouTube. And same goes for the Chetan KVS. He also has a videos and all, which is actually good. And same thing goes with the King Siddharth. Like he is also so awesome. He only do the live sessions and all, and he basically do kind of for what I can say, case study showcase kind of thing. So yeah, coming back to our context. So let me just give you a frame hierarchy. Now I have talked about the research part of my part, and I have equally described like what my research is being, and who are my competitors, and what kind of scenario is being going. Like I have designed a carpool app, so I have clearly mentioned key what were the use cases and what are the use cases for the users while they are traveling or while they are commuting to the college. So first of all, they will be choosing out a vehicle, auto, and all. Second of all, they'll be choosing college bus. Third of all, they'll be having their personal bike. And fourth of all, they'll be having their private cabs and all. So I have listed out the pros and cons so that it will be flexible for the reader who is reading out and the user. Like I haven't put in this on my own, because I have already I initially did a research. So that's why these are the points, and kind of a summarized point that I have put it on out here. Then next come the next question is that I have put it out here is the design question, like how would I solve this problem key for this only for the students. How would I make a carpool app or a kind of something that would be feasible for the user, and how can I solve that problem with my design? So I have already mentioned that what are the major pain points of the commuters and how we can optimize their experience with the product solution. So at the end of the point, we have an initial goal that we have a problem statement and we just want to convert that problem statement into a end goal that is being feasible for the user by our design solution. Yeah. So now let's talk about the discovery section. Like, what are the initial discovery that I have made, like while talking about the user. So I have gradually asked out and took a interview from my I guess 10 to 12 friends, because I have like had a call session with them, and I told them this is like a scenario. Just you can take out the two approach and all. Just a second. Yeah. So I have talked with my friends, and also they have like mentioned some of the points. Some of the points were like kind of thing that I have already assumed, but some of the points were something like it was like new to me, and it was like new pain points. We generally call that term as a pain points. Pain points means the problem that user actually faces while when the some scenario that is being going on, and the same scenario which you are trying to solve out by your design. So that is the pain point of the user side. So these are the main major assumed pain point that I have found, and this were like my new discovered pain point. So I've clearly mentioned each and every details on my case study, so that I won't like what I can say, I won't be behind of anyone like who will be competing with me while like submitting all the applications and all. Yeah. So now let's talk about the features. This were the list of the features that I'll be like focusing on to make up with my design. Transparent schedule, clear information about driver, request system to book a ride, chat system to develop a social relationship, choice preference selection to match better. So the problem statement was a simple problem statement that key student were not where they were facing out the means difficulty while commuting. But when you try to solve out a problem, you have a multiple use case or various scenarios that you should put on mind key, like I have particular problem statement. So what can I do with that? Like what is the maximum extent that I can go with that? So this were like a few points that I have like discovered while thinking about my idea, because it was my own personal idea, and I have already talked with my friend. One of my friend is also a developer. So we had a plan like we should like present this case studies or present this app on our majors and all. But I think they're not good, because after the lockdown we don't have like any good communication and all. So we dropped the idea. But I have presented that on my case study, and literally this idea was my own, and it helped me like it really helped me like to boom, because this was my one of the best not, but it was my good case studies that I have showcased, and literally my recruiters were like happy after seeing out my case studies and all. So they were really happy after seeing out my case study. Now talking about my design process. So this is a predefined term that I've already told you, like what are the five basic steps. It could be different for different designer, but these are the basic steps, and this is a major domain set that covers out every aspects of every designer, like the process they go through. So let us just basically understand what empathizing means. Like, first of all, supposingly you are a user, like I'll just give you a real life example. I was using out I'm like using out Snapchat for like 1.5 years. So what happens is that while maintaining the streaks, when you make out the streaks, so you have to like take a snap, and you have to yeah, like you have to scroll and go through, and you have to select every and each member that you want to make with the streak and all. So it is like quite frustrating. Like, first of all, if you have like 100 to 150 100 to 150 contacts, and you will be tapping to 100 to 150 contacts at a time, and supposedly if you are making a streak of 200 or 300 or 1,000 days, so you will be like prioritizing those, because you don't want to miss out of the streak, because actually you have invested 1,000 days by sending on to snap. So what Snapchat has does now, they have empathized the problem. Yeah, actually, because uh, like there was no need like, because people were actually using the Snapchat, there was no need like to what I can say, improvise the experience. But they have planned something like, yes, we just want to introduce a new feature. So they have actually emphasized the user, like, yeah, actually users are facing something some problem from their end. Now they have emphasized the problem, they have understand the user need. Now the next thing is that to ideate the thing, like how we can like introduce something on the user side, like it could be feasible for the user. It won't hamper our design, it won't hamper out the experience, and it would be like just like a bread and butter for us. Like everything will be like same as it is, when the app updates and all. So now after ideating, after like having a brainstorming session, now it's time to define out the problem statement, or the define out the solution, what I can say, the statement with them. So creating many ideas, like I had like plan before 2 to 3 months, like I should also make a, I had the same plan on my mind, but I was like quite busy with my work, and also I couldn't like uh, document those on my case studies. But the same thing which I had on mind, the Snapchat has updated with the same thing. Right now if you see out the Snapchat and all, you can make out certain blocks of the people, where you can create out the shortcuts, and you can give out the name to them, and you can directly choose out the shortcut from their side, and you can, by a single tap, you can send out snaps to the 200 people. So now you are understanding the scenario, what is the pattern of what is the process they are being following. So that comes under this process. Like they have defined the problems in the ideation session, like we can introduce this thing, we can introduce that thing, then they have designed those, and they have made a prototype of that. Prototyping considers of like your UI design, your UI design and prototyping. So basically these are the both two things that they have focused on. And now the last most thing is the testing is the most critical part and the most important part for making out your product or launching your product, because testing includes various scenarios that you haven't expected from the user side, because you are at the end, there are scenarios like you will be assuming something ki, yeah, this is my assumption and I'll be proposing the design. But when you present those design to the actual user, so the scenarios will be quite different, because you have assumed something, but everybody has a different mindset, every user has a different approach. So you have to make those points, and you have to like document those points and work on those points, and present a design to them. So that is the fifth point. Testing is a really critical part, and testing is a like best part, I would say, when you are presenting out your design, because you will be getting a good feedbacks and bad feedbacks. I would say you should focus on or work on the good feedbacks, because take it as a constructive feedback, because bad feedbacks are not bad of your design, it was just something that you haven't covered. No one is saying that you have made something bad, but the thing is that you have missed out something, and I am facing problem from that. So you can change your perspective, like don't take the feedbacks as a like, supposingly if you are starting your career, okay, and if you have presented you have made some design and you presented to someone else, and he has given something like a list of feedbacks and all, ki iska color, iska text and all, iska padding and all, many more things. So what you can do is that key take on things on note, and try to like frame out sentences or the points in such a way that key you will be implementing those things in your design sprints and all. So you'll be eventually you will be like what I can say, you'll be having a benefit, or you'll be having a plus point of that key. Yeah, actually you have worked on the problems or pain points of the user that they are facing. Now let us see, coming back to our case studies, let us see key who I am designing for. So yeah, this is basically my persona. So what persona is means the demographic of the user, those who are like the basic user to whom you have approached. And you don't have to like put the demographic of 50 to 60 people. Yeah, you can put out the demographic of people who you actually feel ki, yeah, they have a, like a diversified thoughts and have got a maximum input from their side. So I have mentioned their names, their gender, their bio, their goals, their frustrations and codes they have mentioned in during my interviews, that I have to work on, and I should keep that on thing on the note. So I have, this is basically a persona. So these are the things that you should keep on note while making out your case studies. And most important thing, in any scenario, have a notebook and a pen with you, and mark out a date. Like if I'm having a notebook, or if I'm having something, so I'll be marking the date of today's, like today's supposedly today is like what it is, 2nd December. So I'll mark, I have completed I have filled my 4 notebooks, and mark out a date key, today's 2nd December, I'm starting this notebook, and try to write out notes and all. And just when you complete those notebook, try to just get a summary of the notebook, okay, what you actually did. So you will be seeing out your growth, key, how you are evolving as a good designer. This is a good practice, I personally feel, because I'm till date I'm implementing those principles or those things in my like daily life scenario, and it is really helping me in a lot of way. So this thing no one will tell you, because you can get the tutorials and all, but these are the things like you have to like, no one would tell out their methods like how to be a good UX designer and all. So you can keep this mind if in the mind. So now let's come on the ideation part. This was the emphasize part. Now this is my ideation part. I have ideated the problem statements, and I have structured that in a such a way that key everyone could understand. Like, to realize this goal, there are several problems I need to solve. First of all, what kind of matchup mechanism should I apply? How to keep the cost low for the passengers while making any product? You should be you should be on the middle section, that should be emphasizing the users, plus you should be seeing out the business side of the product also. So you have to make a balance of those both parts. Now let us see the ideation part. I have made a few basic scenario, like there's a boy named Sam and girl named Alia, and I have made a small story so that I could easily explain out my problem statement to the recruiter or to the manager. So this is a thing, like you can put it on your case studies. This is a basic pattern you can follow, and you will be getting out a great help after like following this pattern. So yeah, you can take a reference from this. Now let's talk about a design decision. There were some decisions like I took with my assumptions, with my research, and with my what I can say, with my intuitions that I have implemented on my case study. So this were a few points I have given out here, and this were like a comparative map which I have placed. And now if you see the quadrants, I have placed my quadrants in the higher cost, lower cost, automatically matching and manually matching. And I have sorted my product to the fourth quadrant where the cost is low and matching is automatically. So it is kind of a Uber and all, but it has a different concept for the student. So there were a few problems that this was my design decision before prototyping part. This were my few design decisions that I took. I have clearly mentioned each and everything. Now let's talk about the user flow. So what actually user flow means? User flow means when a user comes on to the first time, or when he comes to your app on the very first time, what is the actually flow that he is maintaining or he is going through? You have to like mention those in your user flow. User flow means the flow of the user, how he's coming into the app, how he's using all this feature, how he's creating the account, and how he is successfully exiting off the app, or how he is closing out the app. So this is basically a flow that I have mentioned ki, like this is the first time when he comes, or first time when the user onboards. This is a basically flow that he follows. Now the coming on the iteration part, basically you should keep on track of your iterations, like how many iterations you have done and how many iterations it took to present out a better design. So this way my iteration, this was my first approach, and I have clearly mentioned ki, yeah, I have made the design, I have given out to my friends, and what were the few points that they noticed, or what were my thoughts after making out a design. So I have clearly mentioned out ki this were something and all. Now this comes on the UI part ki, like this is a splash screens. Okay, so you have to mention splash screens. This is an onboarding screen that I have made. Now coming on to this section, complete the onboarding screen. Now you have to give out a clear header for the every section that you could present out. So this is a login screen, and you could create your account. You have to like be specific about your college email ID, because it is only for students. So there's a condition that if a college ID is validating or it is being validated, then only you can create your account. Otherwise you can't create account or you can't use the app. So this is my first major point, like to get a crowd of the student, because my target users are student only. Now this is a detail section that you can enter. Now this is a tip creation section. I'll be giving out your link, or you can find me I'll be just posting out the link. You can see my case study for the reference purpose. Just a second. Yeah, so yeah, you can see this for the reference purpose for my case studies. So this was like kind of a case study that I did. Now this was my own idea, but if in case like you don't have any idea and all, so what next you can do? The next thing you can do is that you can redesign a product that is already in the market. Okay, so yeah, first of all, the effort being finding out a good app, or a I'll just share out a point with you guys, is that key, if you are trying to redesign an app, like supposedly if I'm trying to redesign an app, or if I say Instagram, So do you know how much big team of Instagram will be having, or how much big team Instagram will have? I'll guess around key, like they'll be having around 500 designers, minimum 500 or 400 designers for whole demographic, like for a whole world, different sections, different region, different language and all. So do you consider yourself so much qualified, so much qualified to them, ki you will be making something changes or some or designing out whole app as a designer, as a solo designer, and you'll be competing with us 5 to 600 designers on their team? So that is totally that I would say that is like that is not a good idea. So what you can do is that you can go to Play Store or App Store. You can find out such apps, those who are like at a time, like at the time of scenario, means you can check out their performance or anything you can want, the fundings and all, and you can check out key, yeah, this app has a trend of that time, like it was good at 2010 to 15 or 16 or, and after that their design was not good, but they are actually a good product. So I also find a good app. It is called Stripit. It has like a good user base at 2006. People now also use out the app, but uh, the thing is that it has like quite old UI, and it has like a kind of a glitchy user flows, or it has some UX issues. So I have tried to address out the same thing out here. So yeah, you can see why I am not choosing Zomato, Swiggy, Uber right now, because the reason I have not chosen this app over Tripit, because this brand have a various designers excelled in various domains. Due to unavailability of data and approach of a designing interface, I really think that if some extra work would be done in this redesign to give a flawless experience. So this was my basic thought process ki why I haven't chosen the Zomato, Swiggy or Uber. I've clearly mentioned ki like, yeah, they are actually good, and I don't consider myself as a qualified, but I can make such few things, or I can make few redesign or few concepts that is like being kind of good for me while showcasing my product. And if in case I get highlighted or I get like kind of limelight, so I can present those case studies or those designs to the company which I'm actually redesigning for. Yeah. So let me just show you a promo I have made in After Effects. This is a kind of a simple promo I have made, like for the tailor purpose. I don't know if it is glitchy or not.
मैं लीव कर रही हूँ.
Yeah, so this is basically a promo that I have made. Now back into our redesign section. So this was basic apps and all. This was the app which actually Tripit has. Now this is a design that I have presented with them. So you can see the difference, because it has a like a, I had made some mistake on the video side, but that doesn't matter, because I have totally changed out the structure, and I have totally made out the cleared out the UX flaws that I have. So you can also reference take out the reference from this part while designing a single screen or a single section. I have mentioned all the key points, key what were the things that is being missing, or what were the things that I have worked on, and what are the good things that I have introduced in the app. So you have to mention each and every details on those, like on those sections and all. So this is a key thing that you should like what I can say keep on mind while designing. And yeah, you can take out the you can take the reference if you just want from here. I'll be giving out the link of the case studies, and eventually I'll just post out my just a second, portfolio, so that you can take out the reference from my portfolio also. Yeah, but be sure, like don't copy my portfolio, because if you just copy out my portfolio, I'll be like giving out your copyright strike, so that it would be difficult for you guys. Yeah, no worries, I'll be just joking. So yeah, this is a basic what I can say structure of the case study that you have to follow. So I had like this few points to mention out, because I have no intent to like teach you all what designing is, what UX is, because many more contents and better contents are available on the UX side. So I have given out you the important part, ki how to make out the case studies, how to make out the portfolio, how to like sort out your domain set, how to make like how to be a domain specified. Now let me just show you one more important thing, that is like uh, just a second. Give me a minute. So yeah, you already know that what this tool is. This is Figma, and there's a small part which I can show you, that is trending now, because there are specific designers. They are called as design system designer, or design system engineer. So yeah, what design system means? Design system means designing out every instances for every single part, like how the username would be defined, how the active state would be look, how the focus state would look. Because once you have made the component out here, the every designer out there, the if the design team is of 100,000 people, so they'll be taking a reference of the design from here. And what is the benefit of having a design system is that there will be a consistency in design. Like if a new people would come, so it would be not new to him, because if it is his or for her first day, so it won't be like new to him, because it would be eventually kind of a scenario where he'll be taking a reference from the previous design, which is already being made by the designers, or which has been like previously being made in the libraries. So it is a kind of a set of libraries or instructions that we study on C. Like you have a set of syntax and command. So this you can consider as a syntax and command. So yeah, you can like get to know about like what design system means and how to frame your case studies. By what I have covered is that the design system, what design system actually means, how to frame out your case studies, how to choose the companies, whether it is a product based or a service based. Service based companies, if you're targeting to look on that, majorly the companies are design studios, and design studios are having a variety of products, major product. They have like a good number of projects with the different domains. So that is totally on to you. What kind of company you want to choose, whether it is product based or service based. So this is the three points that I have covered. Fourth point is that how to frame out your case studies, what is the structure that you should follow on the case studies, and what are the points that you should mention while making out the case studies. So these are the four major points. After when you learn out UX or UI, the points that you should focus on are those 4 points only. So that if you will be working on those 4 points, you will be like I would personally suggest, like if you have a like competition of 200 to 250 people, you will be uh, in the frontliners, because you have a context. First of all, the basic thing is that building out the context. If you have a good context of anything, of any in any field, you will be having a good chance of growth. So try to build out your context first, then try to just be on the shape of the shoes and try to walk on the path. So I would say like you should work on these 5 points. After before you, if you have completed the UX and UI part, then you should go with the case studies. You should choose out the your domain set, you should choose out the company you want, and then then you can like create out then you should learn about design system and all. So gradually these things are quite interrelated, so it is up to you what actually you want. So yeah, this was like all about the sessions that I have to cover and I wanted to cover. If you guys have any doubt and all, I won't be taking your time, but if you have any doubt and all, you can ask me out here. I'll be like waiting for 5 more minutes because I have some work with me to go right now. I had a meeting. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, queries and all, you can like speak up or you can type in the chat. Or if you don't have any questions and query, you can like clearly say no.
Guys, if you have any questions, you can ask the host. He's open to questions. This is the last day of the 2-day workshop session, so please utilize the time. Okay, I think we don't have any questions, Mr. Rahul. Maybe we can end the session today.
Yes, for sure. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this. No questions for now. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you everyone for attending the session. The 2 days workshop session is done. Thank you all for coming. We'll make sure the glitches are in there for the upcoming session, 2 sessions too. Thank you all. Bye-bye.